Hi, welcome. So let's come to simple seated. I'm going to get grounded. Grounding in the sitting bones, dropping your pubic bone, elongating through the crown of your head. Maybe coming into half lotus. Hi. And so we're just going to get grounded. From the grounding, we're going to elongate. And just come to your breath. Breathing in through your nose. And exhaling through the nose. And then connecting the inhalation to the exhalation and the exhalation to the inhalation. And just following the breath. And then when the breath becomes large, beginning to harness the breath into Ujjayi breathing. It's coming to the sound of the breath. Beginning to pull the breath all the way into the feet, all the way into the crown of the head. And just listening to the sound of Ujjayi breathing. Let's go ahead and exhale completely, slowly opening your eyes. And before we begin warming up, I just want to say that today I'm thinking about resistance, and so if the video gets, if the connection's disconnected, just like exit and then come back in. I have no control over the Wi-Fi. So I'm thinking about like resistance, and I was thinking about like willingness is kind of the counter to the resistance, and just being willing to come. I'm willing to start something for like maybe 5 minutes. So I'm glad you're here. The other thing that I'm thinking about is to approach this with a little bit of playfulness. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do weights today. So if you have weights, go ahead and grab your weights. We're gonna bring the shoulders up to the ears. We're gonna take the shoulder blades down your back. You're gonna drop your pubic bone, lengthening lumbar, thoracic, upper thoracic, cervical. Looking up at the ceiling, opening the throat. Exhale, drop your chin down to your chest. We're going to drag the chin to the right shoulder on an inhalation. Exhale, center. Keep the shoulders down the back, inhaling to the left. Exhale, center. Inhaling over to the right, we're going to take it all the way around, driving it with the eyes. Exhaling to the left. Inhaling over to the right again. Feel what you're doing. Be connected with your breath. To the left. Through the crown of the head. Shoulders are going to come up. Take your shoulders down your back. Squeezing back there. Drop the shoulders down. Drop your pubic bone, lengthening lumbar, thoracic, upper thoracic, cervical. Exhale, dropping your chin. And we're going to take the chin to the left shoulder. Exhale, center. Inhaling over to the right. Exhale, center. Inhaling over to the left, and we're going to drive it all the way around. Exhaling to the right. Inhaling over to the left. Exhaling to the right. Extending through the crown of the head. Shoulders are going to come up. Take your shoulders down your back, squeezing, dropping your shoulders all the way down. Drop your pubic bone, lengthening lumbar, thoracic, upper thoracic, cervical. Exhale, dropping your chin down to your chest. And then we're going to look forward. We're going to take the left hand to the right knee, right hand back. From the sacrum all the way through the crown. Drop your shoulders down your back and we're going to twist. And then again, ground, open, extend, lengthening on the inhalation. Exhale, twisting. One more breath, lengthening and twisting. We're going to hold the twist and look forward. And then we're going to undo. We're going to recross the legs, coming back to your sitting bones, lengthening through the crown. Right hand to the left. Drop your pubic bone, lengthen it all the way up. Exhale, twisting to the left. And again, ground, open, extend, lengthen. Exhale, twisting. One more breath. We're going to hold the twist and then look forward and undo and feel it. Left shoulder blade down the back, top of the left wrist all the way along the left side body. Palm is facing towards the right. We're going to come directly over to the right. We're going to take this right elbow directly down. So there's this nice line. I'm not going out to the side or to the back. I'm going directly out to the side, looking up at the left palm maybe, and then I'm going to come almost all the way up. Grounding the left sitting bone, I'm going to twist lumbar thoracic, looking back at the left palm, and then anchoring this left sitting bone and coming forward, looking up at the left palm, almost all the way out, and then release that left arm and let it shake out. Right shoulder blade down the back, top of the right wrist, all the way along the side body. We're going to ground, open, extend, exhaling over to the left. Now maybe this left shoulder blade is down the back and the left elbow is bending. We're going to look up at the right palm. You can bend this right elbow if that works better for you. And then we're going to come almost all the way out, grounding the right sitting bone, twisting lumbar, thoracic, looking back at the right palm, and then anchoring the sitting bone, and we're going to come all the way forward, looking up at that right palm, almost all the way out, and then just shake that right arm all the way out. And then we're going to go ahead and come over our legs, and we're going to come into table. Our knees are going to be underneath our hips, and our palms are going to be underneath the shoulders. We're going to bend the elbows, sitting bones are going to come up. We're going to lift the sternum, coming into cow, and then exhale, we're going to come into cat. Inhaling, coming back into cow. Exhaling into cat. Be focused with your breath, inhaling into cow. Exhaling into cat. And then we're going to come into neutral table. We're going to ground the left palm and we're going to take the right hand up. We're going to look down at the left palm. We're going to turn to look up at the right, opening the chest, and then we're going to thread this right arm all the way through. Right shoulder underneath the left palm is going to press, left palm on top of the right. Shoulder blades down the back, widening the collarbones, extending this left arm up, reaching it up, and then releasing the hand to the hip. Palm is going to face up, top of the wrist all the way along the side body, overhead. Left palm is going to ground, Ujjayi breath. Left palm is going to come underneath the left shoulder. Feel the full palm press into the floor coming back into table. This time we're going to ground the right palm and take the left hand up. We're going to look down at the right. We're going to turn to look up at the left, opening the chest, and then we're going to thread this left arm all the way through. Left shoulder underneath the right, right palm presses, right palm on top of the left shoulder blades down the back, bringing this right arm up, reaching up, breathing, releasing the hand to the hip. Palm is going to face up, top of the wrist, all the way along the side body, overhead. Ujjayi breath. Right hand underneath the right shoulder, pressing to come out, back into table. We're going to go ahead and from table, we're going to bring the sitting bones back to the heels. Kind of wiggle your belly on your thighs, extend the palms away from the shoulders, forearms off the ground. Maybe resting your forehead on the ground and breathe. Feel what you're doing. Just coming to the breath, feeling it. We're going to ground the full circumference of the palms into the ground. And then we're going to pass your table, tuck your toes, and we're going to come into downward facing dog. So grounding your palms, moving your hips away from your wrist, belly into the apex of the pose. Imagine someone's taking a strap around your upper quads, pulling up and back. We're going to come to the balls of the feet. Stretch your toes. And then you're going to heel toe all the way forward. Feet are going to come directly underneath the hips. Bending the knees, putting your thumbs in your elbow pits. Maybe just resting the forearms on the thighs. Releasing your neck. Letting your arms just hang like cooked noodles. Then we're going to press the feet and we're going to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Sacrum down, shoulder blades down the back, lower ribs back to the kidneys. We're going to bring the arms all the way up. And then to your heart. Just close your eyes and just receive for a moment. I want you to feel your breath. I want you to feel your feet on the mat. Here we go. We're going to do some sun salutations. So ground those feet, spread the toes, sacrum down, belly back. Palms, so sorry. I think that I'm going to, Okay, we're going to try that. Here we go. We're going to ground the feet, sacrum down, palms to the heart. We're going to bend the knees. Knees are going to be underneath the knees in line with the hips, and the ankles. Bring your arms up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold, release your neck and your head. Inhale, flat back. Fold, hands by the feet, take your right foot back. Knee over the ankle, left foot back into plank, chaturanga. All the way down to the ground, legs are gonna zip up, pubic bone to the sternum, we're gonna come up for cobra. Exhale, we're going to release down, keep those elbows tight, and we're going to press back into down dog. Keep breathing. Okay, we're going to ground the left foot, take your right leg into a diagonal. And then we're going to bring the right foot all the way through. We're going to ground the left heel. We're going to come up for warrior one. And then we're going to release down to plank. chaturanga, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. This time we're going to ground the right foot, take your left leg into a diagonal. Left foot is going to come all the way through. Drop your right heel. Square your hips, shoulders in line with the sitting bones. And we'll come up for warrior one. Shoulders away from the ears. We're going to release down. Back to plank. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to ground the left foot, take your right leg into a diagonal. Square the hips. Right heel to the bottom, open that right hip point strong. Knees pointing to the right wall. We're going to take the right hip back down towards the floor. Extend the right leg into a diagonal. Right foot is going to come all the way through. Ground your left heel. Square the hips, coming up for warrior one. Palms are to the heart. Knee, sitting bone, back heel. And we're going to take this left shoulder over the left sitting bone. Drop your shoulders, find the connection from your sacrum to your crown. Inhale, back arm along the back leg, looking up at that right palm. And then we're going to exhale. We're going to come into modified side angle. Maybe you're going to stay here. Maybe you're going to lower that hip, the hips, and come deeper. Looking up at the left hand is going to come all the way around, back into warrior two. Back palm faces up and we're going to cartwheel all the way forward. We're going to come into plank, chaturanga, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. We're going to ground the right foot. Take your diagonal. Left heel is going to come to the bottom. Open that left hip out. And left knee points to the left wall. Face to the floor again. Extend that left leg. Left foot is going to come all the way through. Ground your right heel. Square your hips, shoulders. For warrior one, outer two corners of that back foot are grounded. Palms are going to come to the heart. Knee, sitting bone, back heel. Opening the right shoulder over the hip. Inhale, back arm along the back leg. Exhale, modified side angle. Maybe lowering deeper. Right hand's going to come all the way around. Pulling back to warrior two. Drop the shoulders. Back palm faces up. And we're going to cartwheel all the way forward. We're going to come to plank. Cobra or up dog. Lift the sternum. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to ground the left foot, take your right leg into a diagonal. Square, and then we're going to pulsate. We're going to bring the toe to touch the floor and then bring it up. And again, we're going to do this for a count of 10. Three, two, last one, and then we'll do 10 pulsations. 2, 1. We're going to bring this right foot all the way through. We're going to stay on the ball of that back foot. We're going to either bring the hands to the hips or extend the arms up. We're going to straighten this front leg, and then we're going to bend this left knee down. 1, 3, 2, last 1, and we're going to come down and we're going to pulse for 10. 3, 2, 1. We're going to drop the back heel for warrior 1. We're going to straighten the right leg. We're going to drop the left heel. We're going to come out to the left, drop the shoulders down, the wrists stay in line with the shoulders. We're going to come over this right leg. This right leg is extended. Releasing this right hand down, left hand to the hip. Left shoulders over the right, extend this left arm up. Now find your connection from your sacrum to your crown. And also, this back heel is really grounded. Left palm is going to face towards the front, alongside the ear, reaching all the way from the back heel. Left hand's going to come all the way around. Left shoulder over the sitting bone for warrior 2. Inhale, back arm along the back leg. We're going to bring this right arm around. We're going to shorten the stance. And we're going to interlace the hands. Hit the hands. Square. Shoulders away from the ears. Lift the sternum up to the ceiling. Neck is free. Exhale, folding. We're going to bring this right, maybe the right shoulder, to the knee, releasing the neck. We're going to come to the ball of the back of the foot. We're going to lift up through the sternum. We're going to take the left forearm across to the right thigh. Maybe this right hand's just going to press here. Maybe this left elbow's going to go across. Right palm's going to press. Pubic bone to the sternum, lengthen all the way through the crown, twisting. Ujjayi breath. We're going to bring this right forearm across now. We're going to drop that back heel. And then we're going to open up, maybe coming deeper for side angle. Left hand's going to come all the way around. Keep it. Sacrum grounds, drop your shoulders, back palm faces up, and we're going to cartwheel all the way forward. We're going to come to plank, chaturanga, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Breathe. We're going to ground the right foot this time. Take your left leg into a diagonal. And then we're going to drop the toes down. We're going to do it for 10. Three, 2, last 1. We're going to take it back up for 10 pulsations. 3, 2, 1. Bring this left foot through. We're going to stay on the ball of the back of the foot. We're going to straighten this front leg. Hands can either be at the hips or bring up. And we're going to bend, drop that right knee down. 2. Breathe. 3, 2, last 1. We're going to pulse now. Three, 2, 1. We're going to drop the back heel for warrior 1. From warrior 1, we're going to straighten that left leg. We're going to turn the hips to the right. Drop the shoulders, arms are going to come up. We're going to reach forward from this hinge. Release this left hand, right hand at the hip. Back heel, sacrum to the back heel. Right shoulder opens, bring this right arm up. Palm is going to face forward alongside the ear, reaching. And then we're going to bring this right arm all the way around for warrior two. Inhale, back arm along the back leg. And then we're going to shorten the stance. We're going to bring the torso, shoulders towards the front. Arms are away. Lift your sternum looking up. Exhale, left shoulder comes to the knee. Release your neck and your head, and the arms come up. We're going to lift the sternum. This right forearm is going to come across, maybe just resting on the right wrist area and twisting, or taking this right elbow all the way across. Left palm on top of the right, hips move in to take the torso out and twist. Ujjayi breath. We're going to bring the left forearm across. We're going to drop this back heel, right shoulder opens, maybe lowering the hips. Releasing this left hand down, right arm comes alongside the ear maybe. Reaching, right hand's going to come all the way around. Pulling back to warrior two. Drop your shoulders. Breathe, back palm faces up. Cartwheeling all the way forward. Plank. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to step the right foot forward, left foot forward, fold, bend your knees, sit, tighten your bottom, bring your arms up, release your neck. We're going to press all the way up, opening. Palms are going to come all the way around to your heart. Close your eyes and just receive. How's it going, guys? All right, okay. Is the video doing okay? Hopefully. Okay, well, we're gonna get our weights now. So we're gonna ground the feet, sacrum down, shoulder blades really nice. So here we have to have torso stability. So the sacrum is going down, belly to the lower back. The circle's going on. And then below the navel, we're going to come around so the lower ribs are back to the kidneys. Shoulder blades down the back, lifting the sternum. Shoulder blades down the back, lifting the sternum. So we're holding torso stability. Grounding the feet, sacrum down, elongating through the crown. And here we go. Three, two, one. Let's take a break. We're going to do 3 rounds of 10 for each of these. So here we go again. Three, two, last one. Take a break. And here we go again. Three, two, one, Okay, so the next one we're going to do is we're going to go directly out front. So ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Take a break. Here we go again. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a break. Okay, last set, or let's round this set. Three, 2, 1. Okay. So we're going to go ahead now and we're going to bring the elbows in. So they're going to be in line with the shoulders. And we're going to just press up. We're keeping those elbows tight. Three, 2, last one. Just take a moment. Here we go again. Make sure you're breathing. 3, 2, last one. We got one more round. Okay, so here we go. Elbows tight, ready? Keep the lower ribs back. 3, 2, last one. Okay, nice work. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do a sequence. We're gonna start in, we're gonna hold each of these poses like 5 breaths. So we're gonna do down dog. So we're gonna ground the feet or the palms, move your hips away from your wrist, belly into the apex of the pose. And then extending the legs back. Ujjayi breath. So the shoulders are wide. We're going to ground the left foot and we're going to take the right leg into a diagonal. We're going to take the right heel to the bottom and then we're going to face that the right knee to the right wall. And we're going to hold this for 5 breaths. If you need to come out sooner, please do. Your neck is relaxed. You can bring your right knee back to the floor, extend the right leg into a diagonal, release, into downward facing dog. And then you're going to ground the right foot, take your left leg into a diagonal, left heel to the bottom, bringing that left knee to the left wall. We're going to bring the left knee back to the floor, extend that left leg into a diagonal, and release back into down dog. We're going to step the right foot through, and we're going to drop the left heel. We're going to come out a little bit so we can bring this left hip open. Now this knee is over the right heel, and I'm going to open this left shoulder over the right. And then I'm going to take my right forearm on my thigh, breathing, maybe lowering the hips, maybe releasing this right hand down, or I can use a block here. and then bringing this left arm alongside. So nice diagonal all the way from the left heel to the palm, maybe turning to look up at the left palm. Ujjayi breath. The left quad is really engaged here. The right knee, sitting bone, back heel are in line. Face is soft. We're going to pull out with this left arm. We're going to straighten this right leg. We're going to turn the right heel in. Our left foot is going to come parallel. We're going to bend this left knee. Left forearm onto the thigh. Nice diagonal going on here. Breathing, maybe lowering the hips, releasing this left arm down. Maybe turning to look up at the right palm. Ujjayi breath. Keep the face soft, keep the back leg engaged, keep this back leg really engaged. We're going to pull out with this right arm again. We're going to turn this left foot in, right? We're going to shorten this stance a bit. So it's like a warrior one stance, and we're facing to the right. We're going to begin to bring this left arm back as I'm keeping this right shoulder open, and I'm going to reach the right arm up. Keeping the torso squared to the front. Left arm's coming back as I'm bringing this right arm up. And the left leg is staying engaged. The right knee's bending. Lifting with the sternum. One more breath. And then we're going to pull out. We're going to shift. We're going to turn that left foot 90, right foot in. And again, the stance is fairly short here. Because we're wanting the hips to face towards the left. We're going to bring this right arm back. This left arm is going to come up by the ear, and I'm going to do my very best to keep my torso facing forward. And breathe. And the right leg stays engaged. We're going to use this left arm to pull out. We're going to square the feet and then come to the top of the mat. Okay, so I think I'm going to do it this way. So we're going to go ahead and bend this right knee, and we're going to hold on to the inner right foot. And we're going to go ahead and shift the hips forward. Use your gazing point. So instead of bringing the arm out as we usually do, today we're going to bring it up. So we're going to try to bring the hands together. Of course, they're not going to come together, but that's the direction that we're working. 5 breaths here. And then we'll release. And we're going to come to the other side. So if that's too much, I want you to modify it. And maybe just you're coming to this again. Just doing your best. But if you want to play with this, go ahead. So we're going to bring this left hand to the inside. And this right arm's going to come up. And we're going to straighten this. And we're really trying to reach both hands together. Ujjayi breath. And then we'll release. And come into mountain pose. And just receive. Okay, very good. We're going to come into pigeon prep, and we're going to do that from down dog. So we're going to come into down dog. We're going to ground the left foot, take your right leg into a diagonal. And we're going to bring this right foot through. So now if you need something underneath that right sitting bone, go ahead and place it. If you need to bring this ankle in closer so your hips can be squared, I want you to be there. This back leg is tracking back as straight as you can get it. And here we go. We're going to lift the sternum. Inhale up. Exhale, we're going to come forward. And we're going to just take our time to come down. Really want you to breathe into the hips. And we're going to slowly come out. We're going to bend this left knee. We're going to bend the left knee and we're going to reach back. And we're going to just work with bringing it towards the heel towards the bottom. We're going to be respectful. Ujjayi breath. Soft face. And we're going to slowly release that left leg. We're going to come back into down dog. Respectfully. We're going to ground the right foot, take your left leg into a diagonal. And we're going to bring the left foot through. And we're going to bring that right leg back. We're going to just take a moment, maybe something underneath this left sitting bone. We're going to here. We're going to lift the sternum. And then we're going to slowly come forward. So listening to your body, listening to your hips, taking your breath into the hips. Maybe closing your eyes, feeling what you're doing. And once the hips start to soften with the breath, you could move deeper into the pose. And then we can take one more breath and then slowly begin to come out. We're going to go ahead and bend this right knee and we're going to reach back. Reach back. And we're going to just begin to work with bringing that right heel to the bottom. And it might not come very far, that's okay. Try to have a spirit of playfulness. I think that starts to break down a little bit. If we can approach it with a little bit of willingness and playfulness and we're not so serious about it. And really letting go of it being, having any kind of a goal in mind or what it's supposed to look like. One more breath. I want you to come into your quad and feel that. And then we're going to slowly release. We're going to go ahead now and come onto our belly. And I'm having some technical difficulties. Okay, so we're going to bend the knees. And we're gonna flex the feet. And you might just be working with that tonight and just bringing the elbows underneath. If you want to go a little further, so I want you to be really engaging the sacrum going down, lifting. So the belly is supporting that lower back. And we're going to reach back for our ankles. Some of us are. And we're going to lift with the sternum. Exhale, the thighs are going to come off the floor. And we're going to work towards bringing those feet towards the back wall. Inhale, lift the sternum. Exhale, quads up, ankles to the back wall. Keep breathing. Ujjayi breath. One more breath. And then we're going to release down. We're going to take the hands underneath the shoulders and we're going to press up onto our knees. So we're not going to undo this quite yet because we're going to come into camel. So the sacrum is going and the hips are going forward. I'm going to tuck my toes because I know that that's what I need for tonight. And then I am going to begin to bring this right arm back to the right heel. And I'm going to square my chest to the left. Maybe you're just having your hands up and you're supporting, lifting the sternum. Maybe that's where you're at tonight. I want you to be really honest with yourself. We're using the full opening of the spine, not letting it get stuck in one place. And then as I come back, I'm just going to go ahead and bring this left arm. I'm trying to bring this left shoulder in line with the right. Breathing. Ujjayi breath. Hips still going forward. One more breath. And then I'm going to lift up with this left hand, maybe supporting it. And then just sitting back with my sitting bones, taking a breath. Nice time to just check in, see how it felt, see if you went too far or something didn't feel right. So as we're approaching this, I don't want you to leave your breath. So the hips are forward, lifting the sternum, opening, bringing this left arm around to the heel. And then this right shoulder is going to come back, this right arm is going to come up and over, squaring those shoulders, hips are forward, opening, Ujjayi breath. Don't leave the breath. And then we're going to lift out. Sitting bones are going to come to the heels. I want you just to take a breath. Maybe just sliding over to the side. We're going to sit for a moment. And then we're going to do abs. Okay, so let's be on our belly. And so you can either listen to her solely,
and bring your knees into your chest,
or you can follow what I'm doing.
Knees and rock your spine for a few breaths.
So I'm going to come into plow.
As we develop this,
but I'm taking a moment because I'm releasing that lower back. So I'm going to bring my knees into the chest first.
To enjoy the process.
And then when it feels good for me, I'm going to slowly come into plow.
So we'll begin with
and I'm going to pull my shoulders. So this is a shoulder stand and not a neck stand. And my sitting bones are going to get perky. And then I'm going to extend maybe the legs up just a little bit. Or I'm going to come into all the way into a shoulder stand.
For support. This pose will strengthen the lower back, but listen to your body. You don't want to create strain. So you yourself will measure how far you will extend your legs towards the floor. So on an inhale, reach to the inner legs through the heels. And as you exhale, take the feet towards the floor.
Lowering down.
If you can, bring the feet 1 foot off the ground. Some of you will need to stop sooner.
Lowering all the way down.
As you inhale, slowly bring the legs up, back to the starting position. And exhale, lower the legs again. Inhale, coming up. Listen to your body. Exhale, lower down. Keep reaching through your feet. Jaw stays relaxed. Inhale, coming up. So we're doing 10 of these. Exhale, lower down. You need to stop at any time, no problem. Knees into the chest. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower down. Movement and breath at the same length. Inhale, coming up. Last 2. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise. And exhale, lower down. And inhale, come up. And bring your knees into your chest. And again, rock the spine.
So maybe coming into Happy Baby's pose. Palms to the soles of the feet.
And
Ankles
this
over the
sequence
knees.
is
You
longer.
can rock here
Feel
too.
free to rest in between this cycle if you need to, gradually building the stamina. We're going to do a yogic bicycle.
Maybe straightening the
So bring your
legs.
hands behind your neck to support yourself. Knees into the chest. Listen carefully to the breathing here. So take an inhale. As you exhale, extend the left leg and draw the left elbow to the right knee. Inhale, bring the left knee in, head comes
I'm
down
adding
to the
an
floor.
extra step here, a little
Exhale, bring
crunch.
the right elbow to the left knee. Right leg extends. Inhale, knees in, back to the starting position. And exhale, left elbow, right knee. Inhale. And exhale. So you're going to stay with this rhythm. We're going to go to 50, each side being 1 count. This is 5. So it may seem like a long journey. Relax into it. And you're going to make it to the other side. Staying with your breath, keeping it slow and deep. This is 10. Again, you can rest at any time. Stay with your breath. If you need to even keep the head down and just work the legs, that's fine. Cultivating a non-verbal state of awareness, enjoying the music, enjoying your rhythm. So you're halfway there. Stay with it. Keeping an even rhythm, even breath. Exhaling and inhaling. So you're building a core support for your body. It's a sacred practice. It's like weeding a garden. Bringing energy, consciousness to the very core of your body. This will support your posture. So last 10, you've been resting, come back for the last 10. Keep it flowing. Practice a little bit of detachment. So often we limit ourselves before we reach our full potential. Stay with it. And last 5. Last 2. And the last 1. Wonderful. Lay down, knees into the chest. Rock the spine.
Okay, so we're going to get ready for final relaxation now. And I just want to say too that today was really resistant to calm. And just showing you that you can come to the mat and you don't have to do it perfectly, and you can be sloppy, and it counts, it matters that you showed up. So let's go ahead and roll back vertebrae by vertebrae and take the right knee into the chest. Extend through your left heel. We're going to come behind this right hamstring and flex the right foot. We're going to straighten the right leg, straighten it, point the right toe. And then we're going to bend the right foot on top of the left thigh, right arm comes out at a T, and we're going to pull this right knee over to the left. Pubic bone to the sternum, we're going to look up at the ceiling and then turn to the right palm. I want you to just take a couple breaths and relax. We're going to bring the right knee back into the chest, hugging it. We're going to bend both knees, press the feet into the floor to release your lower back. Bring your left knee into your chest. Extending through the right heel. Hold behind the left hamstring, flex the left foot, and we're going to straighten the left leg, point the left toe, and then we're going to bend this left knee, left foot on top of the right thigh, left arm out at a T, and we're going to pull that left knee over to the right. We're going to lift the sternum up to the ceiling, maybe looking at the ceiling, maybe turning to the left palm. Just Ujjayi breath. We're going to bring the left knee back into the chest, hugging it. We're going to bend both knees, release the lower back, and now we're going to get ready for a final. So if you just want to get in final relaxation and shut the video off and stay there for a while, you can do that. Otherwise, just extend one leg out at a time, let the legs roll out, shoulder blades down the back, Palms are gonna face up. And just relax your belly. Tighten your bottom maybe to release your lower back. Relax your quads and your feet. Relax your jaw and your belly. And just allowing for the practice to integrate. Just allowing for the floor to support you and your breath to nourish you. And just allowing for the next few minutes just to be a reset for the day, for the rest of the evening. So next inhalation, I want you to begin to deepen your breath. Breathing energy, vitality, oxygen, openness, expansiveness into your feet. Legs, pelvis, torso, shoulders, all the way through the crown of your head. Next inhalation, breathing energy, vitality, oxygen, openness, expansiveness into your shoulders, arms, elbows, forearms, wrist, palms of the hands and fingertips. And as you continue to drink your breath, I want you to begin to bring your arms overhead like you're waking up in the morning, extending all the way through your fingertips, all the way through your heels, lengthening, and then rotating your ankles and your wrist in full rotations like you're going through honey instead of air, and then reversing the direction of the rotations. Letting your arms rest overhead, bending your knees one at a time, pressing your feet into the ground to release your lower back. Bringing your right knee into your chest, your right arm. Left knee, left arm, let there be space. And then just gently massage your lower back from side to side. And then eventually rolling all the way over onto one side into fetal position. Just acknowledging that you showed up and you participated and how huge that is. It's a big deal. And then using your palms, pressing them into the floor. Coming into simple seated or half lotus on the other side. Getting grounded. From the grounding, elongating, noticing your breath. Noticing how you feel. Palms are going to come to the heart. May this practice be a blessing. Namaste. And I really can't wait until we get to see each other in person. Have a nice evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.